All right, we're live here with Julian Marquez, UFC middleweight, mounting a comeback. You're finally ready to come back to the cage. Hopefully, with all the craziness going on in the world right now, you never know. But Julian, how you doing today, my man?
Man, I'm doing amazing. It's a crazy time, right? It's crazy times out here in the world, but I'm doing the best I can be for myself.
Yeah, for sure, man. And the coronavirus, we all have that quarantine life going on right now. How has it affected you in terms of your training or your daily life? Day to day.
To be honest, like it sounds really crazy. It's terrible circumstances that's happening to everyone, but honestly, it's probably one of the best things to happen to me because I don't have to worry about going to my day job. I don't have to worry about all this other stuff. Like life has been put on hold, and I literally have been training every day, still working out. Like last night, I met up with Tom Lawler and Corey Hendricks, and we both went out to, or all three of us went out to the park. All three of us went out to the park to do jujitsu. We're still training. The only thing we're not doing is sparring, but this is actually helping me hone down and focus and just like really put the pedal to the metal on working out and getting my body back into in fighting shape.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can't be too bummed out because you are able to train again. We haven't seen you since July 2018 inside the cage, and I guess for people that maybe haven't been keeping up with you, that this is the first time they're seeing you for a while on camera. Can you explain to them, what's been going on with you and what the last 20 months or so have been like?
Man, so in 2018, July 6th at the Tough finale, in the first round, I was fighting Alessio Di Chirico. Something happened. I don't know exactly what it was. When I threw my right hand, it felt like as if you took a rubber band, you pulled it back and let it go. That feeling of like something just releasing, something was incorrect. If you actually watch the fight, you can see it unfold. You can see my body, like you could see me throw it. You could see me stop in front of him and kind of like try to figure out what's going on. He hit me with a hook, and then I kind of woke up. But throughout the fight, you'll see like images. You could see the interview when I was talking to Zach Cummings in the corner. I had to ask him to repeat something because my mind was completely gone. I tore my latimus dorsi tendon off the bone. So I ripped my whole entire lat off the bone. So any type of pull, any type of push muscle, or any type of push pull strength, it was gone in that fight. I couldn't keep my arm up. It was just a really, really super rare and unique tear to where when I went to go get the MRI, go get everything tested, they literally were like, hey, you need to be in surgery right now. Like, you need to get this put back on. We contacted a bunch of different doctors and surgeons to figure out because everyone was kind of scatterbrained. They're like, hey, we need to refer you here, there, left, right. And we finally got a doctor about like a few days later. His name was Dr. Verma, and he's the MLB coach or the surgeon for, I shouldn't say coach, the MLB surgeon for the Cubs. And he's done this surgery multiple times. And when he looked at mine and he went in, he was like, I've never seen a tendon torn to this severity. He's done repairs over and over and over and over again with baseball players because this happens in a pitcher when you overextend your arm. But he's never seen it ripped off the bone like mine. So it was a very, very, very rare tear, and it's taking so long to heal and get proper back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I got you, man. So very rare tear, obviously. And when you hear that, when they say, yeah, this is something that we haven't seen necessarily this bad before, you've got an expert saying that to you, and he's a guy that deals with baseball players, not necessarily fighters. I mean, what goes through your mind? How scary was that to hear? Was it, what was going through your mind when he said that to you?
In all honesty, like I was sitting there, like when they told me, I was like, okay, like I didn't know. I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, like, let's go. It's going to be like ACL tear. It's going to be like a labrum tear or something. Like, okay, if it's rare, we can come back. Like, it's cool. No, like I was not prepared for it. Actually, after the first, like when we first started therapy, like I like overhealed. I did a whole, like my body just went super Wolverine style, and like it overhealed itself. It locked it up. It tightened everything up. I had to go back in for another surgery to remove a lot of the scar tissue. Um, Dude, I was not prepared for it. I thought it was just going to be all right. We're out for like 6 months. We're ready to rock. And then next thing you know, 628 days later, here we are.
Yeah. Was there ever a time where you thought maybe you wouldn't be able to step back in the cage again? Like, why is this happening? Why, will I ever get better? That type of a thing? Or were you always confident that this day would come where you'd be able to get back in the gym and start preparing for a fight again?
Oh my gosh. After like, so I was still training, even though I had like a sling on, I had my arm locked up. I was still doing jabbing. I was trying to run to the best of my abilities and still like doing strength conditioning. And I would say about 9 months in, maybe a little less, that's when we had to go to almost to the second surgery. That's when I like was like, oh crap. Because after surgery one, we went in there. We were supposed to be back like within 3 months, and I'm like, oh, it's not happening. Then after surgery two, at like I want to say about 9 months, went to surgery two, and we were supposed to be back in 3 months then, and then we kind of were sitting there, and I went back to go talk to Dr. Verma, and he broke the news. We were sitting there. He goes, man, I don't know. I was like, so am I going to be fighting again? Do I have to find another career path? And what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. We can try this stuff out. We can work this way and see where it goes. But honestly, Julian, I don't know. And
And
that was like the biggest hit right there.
yeah, and when do you feel like you were able to turn that corner where you kind of knew that your career was getting back on track? Was there a specific moment? Was it that second surgery? Like, when did you start to realize, hey, this thing's getting better. I'm getting back to the point where I can start maybe heading towards being cleared?
Man, I don't really like, honestly, like I don't remember what happened exactly. I think I just went home for this past Christmas. Like that's how, like, when it all cleared out, everything went like, we were sitting there, we were doing therapy. Like I would go to Physical to do therapy and work with Anthony, and then come to the UFC PI and work with Heather, and then I would work with Bo. We'd do strength and conditioning. We were trying to build it back up, but my arm wasn't able to lift past like right here. It would just constantly get stuck. And I think just after so long of just being so stressed out and so just worried and just kind of like that mentality, I went home and I just took like 2 weeks off. I went home for Christmas, spent time with my family, and when I came back, something happened during that comeback that at the beginning of like January, like 4th, 5th or something, when I came back, I like walked into the PI and I asked Heather, I was like, hey, like, look at this. And she's like, wow, she like worked on it. And I was like, do you think we can get cleared? And she's like, how about you hit some mitts and do some things like that? And then we could talk about it. And then all of a sudden, like I want to say July 11th, 12th, everything was going even better and better. And then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, go call the doctor to see if you can get doctored cleared. So we were ready to rock. And I was just like, whew.
And I know that you posted a video, I believe it was right after you got cleared. I mean, to hear that news, obviously just listening to you talk now and everything that you've been through, can you even put into words what that felt like to get that news that you were able to resume your career?
Man, that's going to be so difficult to do that. Like, if you can imagine, man, just imagine like your life hard work, the times that you sat there for 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, going all the way completely broke, and you're sitting there just constantly working at one thing. Like it may be like the business, it may be anything, and you get a little bit of money and you keep going broke, and then people keep looking at you and telling you can't do it, and you're just constantly doing it, and all of a sudden you finally break free and get that. Like that's just like a glimpse of how I felt, like that's like, oh, I like that finally we got this. Like, that's just a little bit how I felt. Like, I felt my life is coming back to normal. I felt everything that I've been working for is just starting to come back to me. And I mean, I feel super blessed at this point in time. And I just can't, I don't know. I just can't speak about it, man. It's crazy.
Well, I'm really happy for you, and looking forward to the future. You know, putting the injury behind you. Is there anybody in mind that you want to fight next? Is there any type of timetable? I know with the outbreak and stuff, it's kind of tough to predict the future. But say that this thing clears up in a couple months, would you be willing to just jump right back in? Is there anybody you have in mind?
Man, I was this London card. I talked to my manager. I talked to Jason House. I called him up on Sunday, the week whenever they're trying to fight everybody to fight. I was like, yo, throw me in. Like, I'm ready to rock. Let's go. And he was trying to talk to me out of it. Like, hey, man, I think, we need to sit there. And I was like, I don't care, dude. Like, let's go. Like, this is who I am. This is where I want to be. I'm ready to rock. Let's go. I'll throw me in. I'll take on a heavyweight fight. I don't care. And he was sitting there like, all right, like, I'll put your name in there. And they ended up like, the card fell through, but that's where I'm at mentally right now. Like, I'm ready to rock. I don't care. I'll fight anybody at any weight from 85 to 105, heavyweight. I just want to get as many reps as I can in right now. I'm 29 years old. I just lost pretty much 2 years of my fighting career, but I extended it maybe a little bit longer. So my goal was I wanted to make my 2-year comeback on International Fight Week. I would have loved to fight Julian Park. I think he just had a fight with Mark Barriott. They went to a 3-round decision. That would be a fun fight. That kid loves to stand and throw. He loves just to go out there and try to be exciting. So I'm ready to rock, man. If we want to do that in International Fight Week, that would be a blessing for me. I hear that they're coming to Kansas City in August. If you're trying to take me back to my hometown, I'll fill the stands. Let's go. But honestly, whoever wants it, they can have it, man. Just say my name, we'll sign the line, and just know that whoever I'm fighting next is going to have 2 years of pain and agony just thrown at them in 15 minutes. It'll be shorter than that, I can promise you that. But I'm going to unleash every bit of, hurt and pain on whoever I had, just because I have to release it. So just know that that's where I'm going to be at when this goes down.
For sure, man. I think that's a good note to end on. And I really appreciate the time. Best of luck with everything, and stay safe out there, my man.
You as well. Thank you so much.